Most AI builders blame their offer, their pricing, or their messaging when nothing's working. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is who they're talking to. And I'm going to show you the exact signals that separate the businesses who are ready to pay from ones who will waste your time. I help builders and freelancers transition to AI consultants who close 4-figure projects and retainers. And I've learned firsthand that targeting beats messaging every single time. If you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside of my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you may have. The link is down below. Today, I'm walking you through the 3 signals that scream ready to buy, where to find these businesses, and how to qualify them before you ever send that first message. And by the end, you'll know why consultants hitting $10,000 months aren't just sending more messages, they're sending better targeted ones. All right, so let me start with something that might surprise you. Your offer may not suck. Your pricing may not be wrong. Your messaging may not be the issue. And I know that may not be what you want to hear, especially if you spent weeks perfecting that LinkedIn pitch or building that portfolio website. But here's what I learned the hard way. You cannot convert a curious business, no matter how good your pitch is. Think of it like a doctor. Dr. A walks into the emergency room and diagnoses patients that actually need emergency surgery. Dr. B walks around the mall handing out brochures to random shoppers. Which one do you think closes more patients? And that's exactly what most builders are doing. They're targeting businesses that might find AI interesting instead of businesses that are actively bleeding money from problems that AI can solve. And I used to do this too. I would see a company posting about ChatGPT on LinkedIn and think, perfect, they get AI, they'll definitely want my services. Then I'd craft this beautiful message explaining how I could automate their lead generation, and they would respond with, very cool, we'll keep this in mind for the future. And I'd get excited, I would think, ooh, they're interested, let me follow up. So I'd send another message a week later, and then another one 2 weeks after that. And then slowly I would realize they were never gonna buy. They just thought that AI was neat. They don't have a bleeding problem that needed to be solved today. Here is the brutal truth. Curious businesses will waste your time every single time. They'll take discovery calls. They'll ask great questions. They'll say things like, this is exactly what we need, and this could be a game changer for us. They'll even tell you to send over a proposal, and then they'll ghost you. Or worse, they'll ask for a discount. Or they'll say they need to run it by their team, and you'll never hear from them again. They're looking for free consulting or entertainment on the topic of AI. They're not businesses with urgent problems. Because curiosity does not equal urgency, and urgency is what gets deals closed. Ready businesses are different. They don't say, this is fascinating. They say, how soon can we start? They don't ask if this might work. They ask what it costs. They don't schedule calls to learn about AI. They schedule calls to solve a problem that keeps them awake staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. They've already done the research. They already know they need help. They're just looking for the right person to help them. So how do you spot a business that's actually ready to pay? There are 3 signals that never lie. Signal 1, they're already spending money on software solutions. Not thinking about it, not researching it, actually spending money. When I look at a potential client, I want to see Zapier integrations, HubSpot subscriptions, automation tools in their tech stack. If they're paying $200 a month for Calendly Pro and $400 a month for HubSpot, they already believe that software solves business problems. They're not going to balk at $1,500 a month for an AI solution that saves them 10 times that in labor costs. This is huge because you're not trying to convince them of a new concept. I once had a client who is already spending $6,000 a month on sales software. $6,000. They had Salesforce, Outreach, Zoom Info, Calendly, and 3 other tools that didn't even talk to each other. Their sales team was manually entering leads from 5 different sources into their CRM every morning. 2 hours a day, every day, just copying and pasting data. When I showed them how AI could do it automatically, pull the leads, enrich the data, score them, and then route them to the right rep, they didn't ask if automation works. They asked how fast I could build it. That became a $4,000 project plus a $1,000 monthly retainer. And honestly, I probably undercharged, but that's a story for another video. And speaking of spending hundreds of dollars a month on tools, that's not just a client problem. It's an AI consultant problem too. Here's the thing about running an AI business. You're paying for ChatGPT Plus, Claude, Canva Pro for designs, Midjourney or Nano Banana Pro for images, maybe another tool for video. That's $200 a month minimum, just in subscriptions. I found a tool that consolidates everything. Syntax AI, AI chat for building workflows, design tools for client deliverables, video generation, automation. Everything I was paying for separately, now in one subscription. and it's cheaper than those 3 tools combined. Watch this. I'm creating a client social post right now. Write the caption in AI chat, design the graphic in the same platform, generate a video version, export everything. That's 3 separate subscriptions that I used to pay for. Now it's one platform. Link in the description if you want to cut your tool costs. Use code Lindsay for 15% off your first month. Now let's get back to how to identify your next AI client. The point is, they were already believers. I didn't have to sell them on a concept. I just had to show them that I could do it better than what they already had. Signal 2. They're actively hiring for roles that AI can replace. Job posts are public confessions of business pain. When a company posts for a customer service rep, they're telling the world that they're drowning in support tickets. When they post for a data entry clerk, they're admitting that they're wasting human time on robot work. When they post for an appointment setter or lead generation specialist, they're confessing that their sales pipeline has holes. And here's the beautiful part. The salary that they're willing to pay tells you exactly what the problem is worth to them. Set up alerts on Indeed for phrases like data entry, customer service, lead generation, appointment setting, administrative assistant. Every alert that comes through is a business in pain, and pain converts. If they're willing to pay a human $45,000 a year to answer emails, they'll pay $1,500 a month for AI to do it better, faster, and doesn't call in sick. If they're posting for a $60,000 a year appointment setter, they'll happily pay you $5,000 for a system that does it around the clock. You're not competing with their skepticism about AI. You're competing with the cost of them hiring another human. And when you frame it that way, the math is obvious. I landed one of my best clients this way. I saw a real estate team posting for a lead qualification specialist, someone to call internet leads and figure out which ones were actually ready to buy. They were offering $42,000 a year plus commission. I reached out and said, "Hey, I noticed that you're hiring for lead qualification. What if I could build you a system that qualifies every lead within 60 seconds of them submitting a form, 24 hours a day, and then books the qualified ones directly onto your agent's calendars?" They asked me to get on a call the next day. That became a $5,000 build and $800 a month ongoing. And I found them because they publicly advertised their pain on a job board. Signal 3. They operate in a high margin industry. This is huge. You want law firms, real estate agencies, recruiting companies, medical practices, financial advisors, business coaches, marketing agencies, SaaS companies. These businesses charge hundreds or thousands of dollars for their services. When you save them time, you're literally putting money back into their pocket, and they know the math. A recruiting firm that places one candidate makes $15,000 to $30,000 in commission. If your AI system helps them place one additional candidate per month, you've justified your entire year's fee with that single placement. They understand ROI because their whole business runs on it. A law firm that bills at $400 an hour doesn't blink at a $2,000 monthly retainer if it saves their paralegals 10 hours a month. That's $4,000 in billable income that they're recovering. The math makes itself. Compare that to a restaurant. Average ticket is maybe $25. Margins are razor thin, maybe 5 to 10% profit after food costs, labor, rent. Even if your automation works perfectly and saves them real time, they're going to struggle to justify a $1,500 a month fee. The math doesn't work in their favor, which means it doesn't work in yours either. I learned this lesson the hard way. Early on, I spent 3 weeks preparing a proposal for a local bakery. They loved everything about it. The owner was actually excited, but when I quoted $3,000 for the build, she looked at me like I had asked for her firstborn child. She was making maybe $4,000 a month in profit total. So my project would have eaten almost an entire month of profit, and I should have known before I ever got on that call. Now I filter for margin first. If the business doesn't have it in their model to be able to pay premium prices, I don't waste either of our time. Now I know what you're thinking. Lindsay, this sounds great, but where do I actually find these businesses? You turn public business signals into a predictable pipeline. Think of it like fishing in a stocked pond instead of in an empty lake. Why would you cast random lines into the ocean when you can fish where you already know there are hungry fish? Here's where ready-to-buy prospects hang out. First, job boards. Check Indeed, LinkedIn Jobs, and ZipRecruiter daily for specific keywords. Data entry clerk equals manual processes that someone is desperate to offload. Customer service representative equals overwhelmed support team. Lead generation specialist equals broken sales funnel. Virtual assistant equals an owner who's drowning in admin work. Every job posting is a business admitting that they have a problem that's costing them thousands of dollars a month, and they're publicly advertising it. Set up alerts so you don't have to manually search every day. Every morning you'll wake up to a list of businesses in pain. It takes 15 minutes to qualify them using the filter I'm going to show you in a minute. Second, LinkedIn Sales Navigator with surgical filters. Filter by company size, usually 50 to 500 employees, big enough to have real budgets, small enough to move fast and not get stuck in 6 months of procurement reviews. Industry filters for high margin sectors. Recent activity filters for companies posting about growth, hiring, or operational challenges. When you combine these filters, you're not looking at millions of potential prospects. You're looking at maybe a few hundred in your target market. That's manageable, that's targetable, and that's a real list that you can actually work. Third, review mining. Read Google reviews and software review sites looking for complaints about slow response times, data errors, missed appointments, poor follow-up. If customers are publicly complaining about problems that AI can solve, that's a neon sign that says ready to buy. And here's the thing, those complaints often point to specific operational failures that you can address directly in your outreach. Fourth is tech stack research, using tools like Built With or similar tech. If I see a business using Zapier, HubSpot, and Calendly, I know that they believe in software solutions. If they have 10 different tools that don't talk to each other, I know they need integration work. If they're running an outdated CRM and manually importing spreadsheets, I know that they're bleeding time. You can learn so much about a business's operational maturity just by looking at what tools they use. Fifth is niche communities and forums, where business owners complain about operational problems. Real estate Facebook groups, legal practice forums, recruiting subreddits, coaching community Slack channels. People don't sugarcoat problems in these spaces. They're raw and honest about what's keeping them up at night. They'll post things like, I'm drowning in admin work, or my team can't keep up with the lead follow-up. And those are direct invitations to reach out with a solution. But before you start reaching out to everyone you find, there's one more filter that separates consultants who close constantly from the ones who stay busy but broke. You need to pre-qualify each prospect before that first message ever goes out. Think of it like dating. You don't ask someone out before you know that they're single and interested, right? The same principle applies here. Don't pitch before you know that they're actually ready to buy. Here's my 5-question qualification filter. I need to answer yes to at least 3 of these before I send out that message. First, are they in a high-margin industry where time equals big money? Law, real estate, recruiting, consulting, finance, medical, marketing agencies, SaaS. These are yes. Retail, restaurants, manufacturing, nonprofits operating on thin budgets. Those are usually a no. If they can't afford premium prices, you can't afford to spend time on them. Second, do I see budget signals? Existing software subscriptions, recent hiring spree, office expansion, press releases about funding or growth, nice website with professional photography. These all suggest a business that invests in itself. If they're bootstrapped and scraping by, they're not ready for a $4,000 automation project no matter how much they need it. Third, do I see pain signals? Job postings for repetitive roles, customer complaints about response times, manual processes I can spot from their website or social media, founder posts about being overwhelmed. No visible pain means no urgency, and no urgency means no sale. Fourth, can I identify the decision maker? If it's a 50-person company and I'm messaging their marketing coordinator, that's a waste of my time. I need to reach the owner, the VP of operations, or the department head who actually signs checks. One conversation with the right person beats 10 with the wrong person. Fifth, are they open to new solutions, recent technology adoptions, posts about innovation, willingness to try new tools, engagement with AI or automation content? Some businesses are stuck in 1995 and proud of it. You cannot sell progress to people who resist change. Do not waste your energy trying. If I can't answer yes to at least 3 of these, I move on. No exceptions. Because here's what I've learned. Time spent qualifying bad prospects is time stolen from good ones. Every hour I spend chasing a business who is never gonna buy, you didn't spend on one that would. And here's what this all leads to. You now know how to identify ready-to-buy prospects instead of wasting time on curious window shoppers. You can spot the 3 signals that separate businesses who pay from businesses who play. You know where to hunt for prospects who are already in pain and already spending money on solutions. And you have a filter to qualify them before you ever send that first message. But knowing the signals is just the beginning. You still need the system to turn this into a repeatable pipeline that runs every week. The research methods, the qualification frameworks, the outreach sequences that get responses, the discovery call structure that uncovers the real pain, the proposal template that closes deals. So if you want to land your first or next AI client, you can take part in the 4-week challenge inside my free school community of like-minded people, where you'll find a free course that's honestly better than most paid courses out there, and you'll get direct one-on-one access to me for whatever questions you may have. The link is down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.